Hello everybody, welcome to a new video of JMSpeedshop. So today we're going to film a very nice car at Henk. So the link will be below the video. This is today a W116 6.9 liter V8. So it's the biggest model for W116. So if you're new to the channel, have a look in the right corner, here's my logo, you can click on it, see all the other videos I've made, all the other reviews and projects. Also have a look on JMSpeedshop.com, is over here. So today we're going to look around the car, do a test drive and show you all the nice bits of this beauty. So let's go. So 6.9 W116. So it's a car before the W126 and came after the W108, the W109. So with the big massive M100 engine, 6.9 liters, is based on a 6.3. So the W116 came on the market in 1972 and is built up till 1980. So in 1979 the W126 is introduced. So this car is built up to that time. The 6.9 was available from off 1975. So up till 1981 the 6.9 liter engine was built. So it's a very nice example. This is not a very low mileage version. I think it had done 170,000 kilometers, but it looks very good. So let's have a look inside. So this car has the grüne Pakette. Nice interior, nice, very clean. Nice Pullman seats. Long version. Very clean car. So as you can see, 167,000 kilometers. So electrical windows, nice old Becker radio, air conditioning. Just a very clean car. On a lot of cars I don't really like green interiors, but on this car I think it looks very nice. It's just very comfortable car. Also in the back, this is a long version. All the 6.9 came in a long version. So also this car is 10 centimeters longer than the normal SE. So this car is 5 meters in 6 centimeters. So you can see it a little bit in the back door, that is a little bit longer. So just beautiful to see. So if you look to today's standard, it is pretty weird if you look to the wheels and the brakes. So this car is standard on 14-inch rims and 215 wide tires, and it has disc brakes in the front and the back. So that's pretty weird if you look to today's standard. But this car had ABS. It was optional from off 1979. So that was, I thought it was standard in the W126. So pretty cool, I think. Also trunk space is pretty big. What I also really like is this badging on the back. It's just very nice. Pretty big trunk. Just with a normal spare wheel in it here. Very clean and nice car. So the big M100 engine. So it's a very nice story with this engine, because it was so massive that they had to build a dry sump system for it. So this engine came on the market for the W108 and 109 model, of course. It was a 6.3 liter iron block, so it's a very heavy engine. So it had a stroke of 95 millimeters and a bore of 103. So this was a 6.3 liter in 1975. they built this engine. So they bored the engine up to 107 millimeters, and you got a 6.9, massive engine. So this engine was very large when you had a normal sump underneath it, and they want to have a low hood line. So they came up with a dry sump system to lower the engine so it will fit underneath the hood. So the dry sump system, you have a tank over here. This is for the dry sump system. There's also the dipstick on it. You have to measure it when the engine is running, of course, and when it's on temperature. This tank is for the self-leveling suspension. You can see this pump. People that know hydraulic suspension on later models, 123 models and W124, they will recognize the front of this pump. It looks almost the same. So it's self-leveling suspension on this car. So also nice to know about this engine, the compression ratio is 8.8 to 1 in the European version. If you got the Australian or USA version, then it's 8 to 1. So the power is a little bit different. This engine has 286 horsepower. In the United States it was 256 horsepower, so it was a little bit lower. So about the hydraulic suspension on this car, this was the first model that had hydraulic self-leveling suspension all around for standard. So the SEL 6.9 was only delivered with hydraulic pneumatic suspension, they call it. So it's not air suspension, it's hydro suspension in the front and in the back. So if you had a normal W116, it was optional in the back. So this car drives very good. So I think we should do a test drive in this beauty. So let's have a drive in this beauty. Yes. So it's my first time to drive W116. So very curious how this drives. And it starts with a 6.9, so that's nice. So let's have a go. Put the ventilation off. This car is really quiet if you hear it running. So let's have a go. Pretty smooth. Seats are very nice. It's all classic, of course. I don't know the exact year of this car. I can have a look at later. But yeah, 116. I drove a very long time in a 123, and I always found this car like the real big brother, if you look to it, of a W123. It's just a little bit flatter. It's more. I think this car has a more classic look than a 123, but it's very personal, of course. So 6.9 liter massive engine. This is, I think, the biggest production engine that Mercedes built themselves. Of course, you got a 7.3 V12, but that was not really, it's AMGs, but this is just really massive. So M100 and very big production engine came on the market. The M100 engine came on the market in 1963, and it's built up till 1981. So it came, of course, in W108, 109, 6.3 liter, yeah, 250 horsepower at that time. It was running on a different fuel system than this one. To start a little bit with a story with the 6.3 that had like an inline fuel pump. It was like a diesel, old diesel. Well, people know old diesels, they know what kind of pump it was. It was an Einspritzung pump, just like the original diesels had. After that, this car is running on Kayaktronic, so it's different. So the 6.3 is built up to 1981. The 6.9 came in 1975 up till 1981. This car, in this version, the 6.9 is built in total 7,380 models were built. It all came in a long version. So it's a massive car. They came standard with hydro pneumatic suspension, so self-leveling all around. It's a very comfortable drive. You had it as an option on the other cars, but not in the front. So the only 6.9 had only this suspension in the front. Later on, it was also in the W126, R129, and also hydraulic suspension. All the station wagons from the 123 and 124 and S210 had the same kind of system in the back, all hydraulic suspension. So this was the first production model that was delivered with it. Before this, you got air suspension in the 108 and the 109. So it's a different system. It's a very nice drivable system. You can also raise and lower the car with a knob underneath the speedometer, so you can raise and lift it. So engine wise, what I said, M100 engine, a stroke of 95 millimeters and a bore of a massive 107 millimeters. So really big pistons. So this car has a lot of torque, 549 Newton meters at 3000 RPMs. Rev limit is pretty low. It was 5,300 RPM, single overhead camshaft, 2 valves. So max torque at 3,000 RPMs. If you step on it, it's just a little bit of trouble in this car, it goes off. This car was really fast in the time that they produced this one, so really nice. So 0 to 100 should be possible in 7.4 seconds. I'm not going to do an acceleration test in this car. It's a very classic version and the owner asked me not to do it, so I'm not going to do that. But 7.4 seconds should be possible. It's a 1985 kilo car, so pretty heavy. But it's an iron V8 block in the front of the nose. If you just give it a little bit of throttle, it just accelerates. It's just really nice. So I cannot compare it to a 4.5. Some people say a 4.5 drives more nice. I don't know. The 6.9 is just, it drives just very good. Up till this point I'm driving it. Just nice car. So 3-speed automatic transmission, 722003. That's the transmission code. 3-speed, LSD diff in the back was standard, limited slip differential. To keep maximum traction, I always think why they don't put wider wheels on a car like this, because this came standard with 250 millimeter wheels. That's just, today most normal cars with 100 horsepower have already 215. 14-inch wheels, 278 millimeter disc brakes. It drives pretty good. You also have ABS as an option in 1979. So very nice car. So this car, the European version, had a little bit more power than the Australian and the US version. This has an 8.8 compression ratio, 286 horsepower at 4,250 RPMs. The USA versions and the Australian version had 256 horsepower. So let's push it a little bit. What can I say? That's pretty fast for a car like this, I think. So, drives very nice. Very nice. So I will flip over the camera and show you the driving position. You can have a little bit of a feel how this car performs and how it drives, because it's very smooth. you can really feel this car is not meant to be a sports car. It's a very nice fast cruiser. It's floating a little bit. It's very easy on a throttle. You almost have to do nothing to get this car moving. Just very nice. So it's also very quiet. If you imagine that in today's standard, when you have big V8s, there's always a rumble if you push the throttle. You can hear a little bit of it, but this car is just very comfortable and very quiet. And that's, if you look to the standards today, that every car has to make a lot of noise. This car is just, yeah, it's just pretty quiet. That's also the other side of the envelope, that you don't want to have a very noisy car. So the driving position of this car is always a little bit different than the newer models. Like the seat is always a little bit higher than the mid console. That's, yeah, you have to get used to it. All the models have that. If you look to the 126 and the 124, they came up a little bit more, and then in the W110 they are a lot higher already. What I also think is nice about these cars, it's a massive iron engine block, so it's very heavy, and the car is still under 2,000 kilos. If you have an engine like this in a car of today's standard, it would easily be 500 kilos more. Because it's all aluminium, but there are so much options in a car like this. Also, if you see in the W116, there is not much isolation. There is isolation above this headliner, but there's just a steel roof. There's nothing else. This is already much bigger than in a 123. That's very windy if you drive like 100 kilometers. In a 116 it's much more luxurious, and there's also much more isolation in a car. Not at the standard as a 126, but this is just, I think it's a very special car, because they produced in total 473,080 cars, and if you look to this 6.9, they only built 7,380 cars. So I think it's still pretty rare. So I hope you like this video about this W116 6.9. This is a real classic. It's a very rare car. Only 7,380 cars were built from the 470,000 that were made of the W116. So if you like this particular model, you're looking for a nice classic, have a look on henkgroten.nl. If you want more information, if you've got questions about this model, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments about this particular model. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my page, and see you for the next video. Bye bye.